Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about the quadratic equation. So in my previous video, we talked about what quadratic equations are. They're equations which involve of a variable and the variable squared in the same equation. So both of these in one equation. So any equation consisting of a number and its squared is a quadratic equation. So we talked about how we would be finding the value of the variable, which over here is, x, and how we would be finding the value of x in a quadratic equation. So we talked about, we had the quadratic equation x squared plus 2x plus 1, which gives us 0. So what we did, we substituted 2x as x plus x, and then we factorized it, so x plus 1, and x plus 1. And doing this, we found out that this is x plus 1 squared, which gives us an answer of x being equal to -1. So over here, what we did is we found out two numbers that add up to 2, and then when we multiply both these numbers together, we get 1. So the two numbers are 1 and 1, because 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1. But what if we had a really complicated equation and it isn't easy to find out what the answer would be? Say we had an equation such as x squared plus x is equals to 870. So what we do, we bring all the terms to one side of the equation. X squared plus x minus 870 gives us 0. Now, it isn't really obvious what would give us, what we would multiply together, what we would add together to give us 1, and then when multiplied together, we'd get negative 870. So in cases like this, we'd be using something that's called the quadratic equation. And this is an equation that you can use whenever you're stuck with an equation like this and you need to find the value of x. So the quadratic equation is -b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac and the whole thing divided by 2a. So 2 times a. Now, this is a really complicated equation, and at first it may seem a bit overwhelming. But don't worry, it gets better. So you might be wondering, where does the b and the a and the c, where do they come from? Where do the a, b, c come from? So let's go back to our first quadratic equation that we had, which was x squared plus 2x plus 1. So over here, let's just take that equation. X squared plus 2x plus 1, which gives us 0. So over here, we are giving each of the variables a coefficient. So the coefficient of x squared is 1, because x squared is the same thing as 1x squared. And then the coefficient of x is 2. And then the constant is 1. So over here, we're naming 1 as a. So this is a. 2 is b. The coefficient of x is b. And then the constant is c. So these three are given the names as a, b, c. So the coefficient of x squared is a. The coefficient of x is b, and the constant is c. So let's go back to the equation we had, which we wanted to solve, which was x squared plus x gives you 870. So as usual, we bring all the terms to one side of the equation. So to do that, we subtract 870 from both sides, and that leaves us with x squared plus x minus 870 is 0. And now we use the quadratic equation. So let's write that down. Minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So after substituting everything in, we get, well, the coefficient of x squared is 1, the coefficient of x is 1, and the constant is negative 870. So minus b, this is b, this is a, and this is c. So negative 1 plus minus negative 1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1. And then, oh, my bad. Over here it's simply 1, not negative 1. And then minus 4a, which is 1. And then c is negative 870. So, and then this is divided by 2a. So a is 1, so 2 times 1. Now let's simplify this equation. Negative 1 plus minus 1 minus, but since minus and minus, when multiplying minus and minus, we get a positive. So minus 4 times negative 870 gives us a positive number. And as I put this into my calculator, we get 3,480. Divided by 2 times 1 is 2. Now let's continue this on the next page. So this gives us negative 1 plus minus the square root of 3481. So the square root of 3481 is 59. And this divided by 2 gives us our answers. So negative 1, oh, my bad. I shouldn't be putting this over here. Okay, so negative 1. So now you can see that we are left with a plus and a minus. Now, in situations like these, as we discussed in our previous video, x can also have two values in an equation. So let's go off with the first one. Negative 1 plus 59 divided by 2. This gives us 58 divided by 2, which gives us 29. So the first value of x is 29. Now the second value of x is negative 1 minus 59 divided by 2, which gives us negative 60 over 2, which gives us negative 30. So the second value of x is 30. So we now have both of our values of x, which is 29, and x minus and negative 30. So we can write out the equation, our equation as x minus 29 times x plus 30 gives us 0. So in the start, our equation was x squared plus x minus 870 gives us 0. And if you check it, 30 times negative 29 gives us 870. If you would like to, you can go ahead and check that on a calculator, or you could do it by hand, or maybe even in your head. So this proves that the quadratic equation does work indeed. So now let's try doing a different question. Let's say we've been given 8 plus 6x is equals to 5x squared. Now what we want to do, our first step, is to bring all the terms on one side of the equation. So I like to bring everything here because I like having a positive a. So 5x squared minus 6x minus 8 gives us 0. If you simplify this equation, this is what you get. So now let's go ahead and note down our A's and B's and C's. So our A is 5, our B is -6, and our C is -8. So the quadratic equation is minus B plus minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. So let's go in and plug in our values of A, B, and C. Wow, that is a workout. So minus -6 plus minus the square root of -6 squared minus 4 times 5 times -8 divided by 2 times 5. So as we simplify this, we get 6 plus minus the square root of 36 plus 4 times 5 times -8. So 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 times 8 is 160. So 36 plus 160 divided by 10. And this gives us 6 plus minus the square root of 196 divided by 10. Now let's continue this on our next page. This gives us 6 plus minus, well, the square root of 196 is 14 divided by 10. Now again, we have two values of x. So let's do our first value of x, which is 6 plus 14 divided by 10, which gives us 20 over 10, which makes x equals to 2. So our first value of x is 2. Now our second value of x is 6 minus 14 divided by 10. So this gives us -8 divided by 10, which gives us x a value of -4 over 5. So our two values of x are 2 and -4 over 5. So the equation 8 plus 6x is equal to 5x squared can also be written as x minus 2 times x plus 4 over 5, which gives us 0. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope that you are walking away with a little bit more knowledge of the quadratic equation. So thanks for watching.